What's going on, everybody at 3D Print Everything? I am here to talk about a fatal flaw that this Ultimaker S5 has. It is the extruder filament refilling, loading, retraction settings. Okay, so look at all this filament we've got here balled up, and look at this. You see that? The gear of the extruder just continuously chews filament. It is truly unfortunate and annoying. Now, the issue is that when I load this filament in here and it loads the filament, not only is this a constant issue that if you don't have perfect tension on a brand new roll, it's going to jam itself anyways. When this goes down, because this is a Bowden tube setup, the motor and extruder is here, and it needs to push all the way through to up here, you have to have a large retraction setting. So this is the same retraction setting as your Ender 3 or other printers, right at 6.5. This is what they set it at. And I've now had to abandon another print because of this. So I'm going to clean the nozzle off again. But yeah, it jammed itself. Now what's happening is I loaded the filament in. Now if I could easily heat the nozzle, leave it heated, and just manually fill the filament and then leave it alone, it would work more consistently. The issue is I tell it to load filament, it tells you to push it all in. It tells you to push it down to here, and then when you get it down to there, it then superheats the nozzle very quickly. It has a very fast ramp up, so it gets to 200 in like 5-6 seconds. It heats it up, you hear the fan on full blast, and it pushes the little filament out, then it pulls it back up. Okay, and that pulling back up is what screws it up. Because as it's pushing down, it probably has a little bit of resistance, and that tooth probably eats 1 or 2 pieces right as it reaches max, you know, pushing down of the filament. And then when it pulls it back up, we've now chewed on that filament again for the retraction. And now when you go to start the print, it pushes it back down, and because we've already chewed on the filament a little bit more, it chews a bit more until it just goes all the way through, and your nozzle is not extruding. And I just noticed that, and that's from because that's from the filament getting the end of it chewed, and this causes you to lose a considerable amount of filament. I mean, this is 3 millimeter, so imagine on a 1.5, you know, twice that amount I'm throwing away every single time I load filament. Literally, any time I've changed filament in this, I've had to do this twice. So I'm, you know, it's like, I wish I had an available scale that I could just weigh this. It's not a tremendous amount. I mean, this isn't costing me, you know, $10 a month, but $10 a year, maybe $10 a month. I don't know. It's just unfortunate, and the real cost is in productivity. Because it's not really me that this slows down. It's not a 3D print expert that this slows down. It's the doctors and the research experts that can't figure out why it keeps jamming. That keeps on, you know, they've only got 30 minutes to start the print. And it took them 20 minutes to get it through the slicer and to figure out the right settings and to press go. And they're 5 minutes late now, and they're watching this thing start, and it's jammed. And now they need to leave, and they're 10 minutes late, and they're telling this thing to stop because it doesn't have a good first layer. That's what this does. This, like, not having a perfect workflow, not having a solid, just ability to change filament, affects the people who aren't just absolute experts in the field to have a productive printer. I mean, this unfortunately is a setup that was not getting much use until, you know, an expert had come in to actually start running it regularly. And one of the things we did, if you didn't notice, is what is it? new feet. So we got some feet that we can put some stuff underneath it. But this is one of the biggest concerns here, and I think I brought this up on the other one. This printer in its stock profile has massive divots here. I mean, these things are just huge. Like, I can, yeah, let's scratch the face of it. But look at how big these things are. I mean, these are decent size. I mean, these are decent sized chunks that are clearly visible, clearly, you know, an issue. And from my quick Googling, there is no easy fix to this. There's not a profile that someone else complained about this with that is easily available. So I'm gonna have to manually do my thing and custom tune this profile until I get rid of that issue, because that, I mean, this is atrocious. This is something I would not find acceptable to deliver to a client. This is something that will affect you know, the structural and not structural integrity, but it's going to affect the results of us doing strength tests, tensile tests, a bunch of different tests off of parts that come off this printer. So I need this printer to be printing as good as a Bamboo, and it's not there yet. Until I can talk these guys into getting a Bamboo to replace this thing. Because I'm just overall not impressed with this FlashForge. I know there's someone I know that just loves the FlashForge and swears by him, but this thing is so noisy. It creates not really the best parts. I mean, this is okay, but like, look at that. It's a consistent layer gap at this same layer. Consistent. Every single print. And I don't know. There's just other things. The lower print quality is not that great, but I was only here complaining about the Ultimaker. We're gonna see if, oh look, yeah, see, now it's printing. So I got a first layer out of it finally, but it literally, like, I think it would take changing the filament and then like I'm not exactly sure the flow I need to do to make it consistent so that every time I change filament I don't have a jammed nozzle when I go to try to print it. There's definitely some things I'll figure out and try, but I'm not sure what that is. Right now we're going to be printing a tool organizer so that all of our tools laying around here can be picked up. And yeah, that is that's the Ultimaker S7 to date, and my complaints with it. S7, S5, that's what it is, Ultimaker S5. Michael from 3D Print Everything, signing off.